Good morning, answer writing in English literature. Lesson objectives. You will learn to collect relevant points for your answer. You will learn to organize your points. You will learn to construct paragraphs. You will learn to structure your answer. And you will learn to avoid common mistakes. By achieving these objectives, this lesson aims to enhance your performance in English literature. Common difficulties students face when they are writing an answer. Many students do not structure their answer. They did not divide their answer into introduction, body, and conclusion. Paragraph construction is another difficulties the students face. Organization of points and developing paragraphs according to separate points, repetition. Some ideas often repeat in a number of paragraphs, and summarizing or repeating story have been identified as the common difficulties, common problems, or common mistakes the students make in writing answers. For example, we will see the difference between summarizing and analyzing. In your exam paper, you should not give the summary of the text. You are expected to analyze the text. 2 lines from the poem Silver have been given in this slide. We will see how we can summarize and analyze these 2 lines. Summarizing. The moon travels slowly and silently through the night. You can see in that column, those 2 lines are summarized. This is what you should not do this in the exam paper. Examiner expects you to analyze the text. You can read to understand how those 2 lines are analyzed. Remember, in the examination, you are expected to analyze the text. You should not provide the summary of the text. You can read the summary and analysis to understand what you should do in the exam paper. Next, if we take prose, questions can be directed towards the themes of the text, towards the characters of the text, or towards the literary techniques. Now, you will learn how to write answer if the questions appear on those areas. Practice questions. Here, you can read 2 example questions which are based on the theme. One example question which is based on the character developments. We will study how to write answer for these questions. We have taken one question. Critically analyze the themes in the short story The Devoted Friend by Oscar Wilde. So when you write answer for this question, you have to structure your answer into introduction, body, and conclusion parts. Introduction paragraph. For the introduction paragraph, 3 sentences can be written. First sentence can carry general, historical, or background information touching the connection between the author and the text. For example, look at this question. Critically analyze the themes in the poem Meeting at Night, written by the English poet Wilde Browning. I have written one sentence. The autobiographical poem Meeting at Night, which was written by the English poet Wilde Browning during the Victorian era, describes a secretive nature of meeting in a transformed society. This first sentence shows general, at the same time, historical information or historical relevance of the text. You can write sentences in this similar way. Second sentence, write your answer in one sentence. I have written my second sentence for the same question. Read the question, and then I have written the first sentence. Then the second sentence is the themes that the writer explores in this poem include love, persistence. So it goes in that way. This second sentence gives answer. When the examiner reads this sentence, he or she knows that you know the answer. Third sentence. In the third sentence, give the outline for your answer. You can use sentences like, let's discuss them in the following paragraphs. Let's analyze them in detail in the following paragraphs. So, for the introduction paragraph, you write 3 sentences. When the examiner reads your first paragraph, that is the introduction paragraph, the examiner knows whether you know the answer or not. You can develop your introduction paragraph to a certain extent before the examination. When you are practicing for the examination itself, you can develop similar paragraphs to be used for your writing. See this question. For the question, there are 3 sentences in the introduction paragraph. Those sentences are differentiated with different colors. Remember, to prepare for the examination, you can do it at home. You can develop similar paragraphs for all the text that you study. Similar questions. How does Wilde Browning explore the theme of love in this poem? See, you can use the same first sentence and the third sentence. You have to amend the second sentence according to the question. You can see, if you know the themes of this text, you can amend your answer easily. You should identify the themes in all the texts in order to prepare for the examinations. Even though the question changes, you can change the way to write the answer. When you read these sentences, you can easily understand. Then, first you have to develop introduction paragraph. For the introduction paragraph, you have to write 3 sentences. First sentence carries historical information. Second sentence is your answer, and third sentence gives outline. Then, body part of your answer can be divided into paragraphs. For example, here you can see in the second sentence, I have mentioned some concepts. These concepts can be discussed separately in individual paragraphs. This is the way you can organize your answer. Another question. Critically analyze the themes in the story. The Devoted Friend by Oscar Wilde. The first sentence I have written. I have written two different sentences. You can use one of them to develop your introduction paragraph. In this slide, you can read the question and you can read the first, second, and third sentences which have been used to develop the introduction paragraph. Many students do not know how to write answer for the questions in this subject. And some of them write long introduction paragraph and the points are not organized and their answer is not focused. When you practice writing answers in this way, you can confidently develop your writing skills. See here, the introduction paragraph is constructed with 3 sentences. You can study how these sentences are written and what are the amendments that you have to make to write your answer according to the question. For the above question, we have written the introduction paragraph. Now, we will study how to construct the body part of your answer. As I told you earlier, in the second sentence, you have mentioned themes such as selfishness, trust, innocence, and generosity. In the body part of your answer, in separate paragraphs, you have to discuss those points. You should not mix them and write your answer. If you have an organization like this, it will impress the examiner and you can write a clear answer for the question. You have to practice for the familiarity. So with another sets of sentences, I have written another introduction paragraph for the same questions. You can read them and understand how this paragraph is constructed. You can have similar questions as well. How does Oscar Wilde portray the theme innocence in his short story, The Devoted Friends? Discuss. Here, the question is on a separate theme. If you have similar questions, what can you do? Follow the example. The first sentence is same. The third sentence also same. The second sentence, the content of the second sentence is same, but it has been amended according to the question. The writer explores the theme innocence in association with the aspects mutuality, selfishness, trust, generosity, self-importance, injustice, and class-oriented exploitation in the society. See, you should know, you should identify the themes in each text. Then, if you know the themes, you can easily develop your answer. First of all, you should know the themes in each text. If you know the text, if you know the themes, you can easily construct your paragraphs. Even the question change, you can amend your answer accordingly. Another question. This question is based on the character. You can read the question. Even this question is based on the character portrayal. Even though the question is different, you can write the same answer. But remember, you have to write it in a different way with some amendments according to the question. When you read it, you will understand the changes. So remember, when you write answers, the answer can be structured into introduction, body, and conclusion. You have studied how to develop introduction paragraph. We will study how to develop the body parts now. Body part, as I mentioned earlier, for each concept, you can allocate separate paragraphs. In this way, you can write your points clearly. Remember, in each paragraph, separate themes are discussed. Now, we will study to develop a paragraph for the body parts. I have taken one theme here. That is, mutuality is described here. You can read these sentences. After writing these sentences, you have to give supportive details. To support those two sentences, write how this happens in the story. Express your opinions over these incidents. If you write supportive details, you can construct a beautiful paragraph. For example, I have written a paragraph. You can read it to see how it is constructed. For the first sentence, the sentences that follows can be taken as can give supportive details. You have to write this and do similar practices to develop your skills. Then here you can see innocence and generosity can be written in the fourth paragraph. So this is the way you can start. This is the way you can start, and to develop the paragraph further, you have to give supportive details. Show the evidences of and behaviors. Write how the Miller manipulates hands. And why do you say that Miller deceives hands? If you write these informations, you can develop a beautiful and an appropriate paragraph. I have written a model paragraph. You can read it. You can attempt to develop similar paragraphs. In this way, you can practice to write a good answer. With another theme, I have written another paragraph for the body parts. Remember, the first sentence carries important information and other sentences support what you claim in the first sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. So questions directed based on the themes, characters, and literary techniques. Here, you can read one question on character portrayal. The same sentences can be used to develop your introduction paragraph. However, the writer has made some changes in the second sentence according to the question. When you write the body part of your answer, in the first paragraph, you can write how innocence causes injustice in the story. You can write how innocence facilitates exploitation. And in the third paragraph, you can write how innocence disturbs mutuality. And in this way, if you construct your answer, remember, you can include relevant points. You want to remember the themes in each text in order to write answer for the questions. Here, if you know the themes, whether the question comes on the theme or character, you can write answer. You can read how the same concept is used to write answer for theme-oriented question and character-oriented question. When you read it, you can understand how you can develop your own paragraphs. This shows the second paragraph. The same concept is used to write answer for theme-oriented question and character-oriented question. Read the answer carefully. Both are same. You can read this paragraph also. Whether the question is based on the theme or character portrayal, you can describe the same concept according to the question. So you should remember exam questions maybe on themes, characters, or the language techniques. The central message is, if you remember the themes in those texts, you can easily write the answers since characters and figurative language are associated with themes. You should identify the themes in all text. I emphasize again and again, You should identify the themes in the text. Then, whether the question comes on themes, characters, or figurative language, you can connect and write your good answer. Here you can see 3 columns explains. The first column on theme analysis, second column character analysis, third column literary devices or the figurative language. Same concept is explained according to the question, according to the topic. You can read it and you can develop your own paragraphs for the questions. I have given another examples to show how the same concept can be described based on the theme, characters, and literary devices. When you practice properly, you can develop your answer writing techniques. And as I told you earlier, the aim of this lesson is to enhance your performance in English literature by giving proper guidelines and confidence. Thank you.